Hello, everyone. Welcome to part two of our mini series, and we're going to have Noel Powers join us next and do a presentation. Noel Powers of N Factor Coaching is a global award-winning business coach, author, speaker, and Who's Who honoree. She's featured in over 200 top publications as the global expert on vision-driven profit, the paradigm behind the extraordinary success of visionary founders who created the world's most profitable industry-leading brands, including Apple and Amazon. Coach Noel condenses this knowledge to teach CEOs, entrepreneurs, and influencers how to transform their successful businesses into industry-leading brands with virtual coaching and online programs. The only place you learn how to combine brand leadership, marketing, and PR from the top 1%. Today, she will walk you through 3 steps from her 12-week shakedown. Position your brand as number 1 in your market, and how to be your own publicist and master the perception of your ideal client with social proof. So really excited, and here we have Noel.
Thank you. So today we're going to go over 3 aspects about positioning your brand as number 1 with the media. It's going to go through the flow of reputation. Today we're going to talk about how reputation is gold, and it is the great equalizer in brand value. And then supreme confidence, that I want you to leave today a different person than you came, in that confidence, stepping into the role and leaving self-doubt behind. And the third thing is technical, how to win an industry award in as little as 1 week, because you have to have that intention to be number 1. You have to know where to go to have people put you in that situation, and you need to know where to go where you can get that done really quickly and without it becoming a full part-time job for you. So getting those resources, getting connected, and creating. We're going to have a visual here. Kay is going to pop up our visuals. I'm going to show you the brand power pyramid here, and also what a one sheet looks like. Basically, it's all of your media in one place, so that people in 1 minute, they're going to make a snap judgment about do you have their attention? Do you have it instantly? And is it something that's going to make people want to move forward? So reputation is gold. I want you to think about this. Every time someone goes into business, we're all given the same gold nugget, right? It's just a chunk of gold. It still has dirt on it. It's the same size and shape for everyone. It has the same value, but it has tremendous, just intrinsic value. Top brands master their reputation from day one, and they put more into their gold nugget than anyone else. I'll use a great example of this. Steve Jobs, right? He went out and he was the leader of technology, age 20, barefoot, unshaven, because he knew that reputation was the top asset for his brand from day one. And I want to make an analogy here. Top brands, let's say Amazon. I want to share a story about them. Jeff Bezos says Amazon is the most customer-obsessed company in the world. And he says, we are the only online retailer who does on-time delivery. If anyone remembers what it's like to order things online before Amazon, you didn't know what that product was, when it was going to be there. By the time that product arrived, you had such low self-esteem, you were willing just to live with whatever was in that box. But Jeff Bezos was different. We're going to tell a story quickly about integrity. So early days of Amazon, they still only had a few depots, and they promised. They had a prepaid Apple phone. These people paid a better price for a new launched phone, and it wasn't going to be delivered on time. And so they called Jeff, like, hey, you're still running all of this. What are we going to do? And he says, if we're not getting those phones to them on time, you are going down to the Apple store and you're going to pay full retail and you're going to get those to these customers on time, because our promise is on-time delivery. And really, if you think about this, no other retailer would have cared. They would have sent an email to everyone, hey, your product is going to be late. But it was about integrity. It was about making a commitment and keeping to it. and keeping that commitment. What it was about reputation and turning that nugget of gold that was raw and the same as everyone else's and polishing that reputation, refining it, and being the person people trust, right? Because you can buy once from a person you don't trust. But the person who has integrity, who they say what they do what they say, over time, you do that enough times, and you go from being a business to being a way of life. The difference. And that was just reputation. So your biggest asset, especially in the earliest days, make a promise, make a commitment, and actually keep it. And then, my friend, the media is your friend because you have integrity. It's because you can magnify everything you do by 100 times and 1,000 times, and you look good. So I want you to think about it. Your favorite brand where you spend money on it, where you never think, does someone offer this cheaper? When you walk into their store, when you're on their website, I want you to really think about what's really on display. It's their reputation. It's their reputation next to their product. It's their reputation next to their service that is making the sale happen with you. And we're talking about attracting lifelong customers. And they not only pay you premium, but they invite their friends. They become your missionaries. So today you can decide that your reputation is your greatest asset and treat it that way and see what it does with the customers you have. The second aspect is supreme confidence. That I'm not talking about like, oh, I'm just okay, I guess I'll do this. But I mean, in the first video, I talked about when my mentor died from cancer and I decided I'm going to step into this role I knew I was meant for it. So little branding story about Coach Noel. I changed my last name to Powers on the spot, because I had spent 20 years circling the same word on a piece of paper, empowerment. I said, now I'm going to make my last name Powers because I felt the tingle that I needed to do that anyways. But now I said, I'm going to hold this name in front of me and I'm going to step into this with supreme confidence. So every time I say my own name, every time someone else says my name, that it reminds me that because I have a message, that I have the right to exercise supreme confidence because I'm leading people. I have a vision. I'm here to unlock your potential as an entrepreneur. So we need to practice confidence and we need to step into supreme confidence. Now, the number one way I recommend you do this today is go out and join a speakers club. Simply put, leaders are speakers and speakers are leaders. 8 out of 10 people, if you speak with authority, if you have those animal traits as the leader, you are going to have a stronger brand. And I want to break this down. Let's look at someone like Steve Jobs. Everything that he became famous for, he studied someone else. It was a performing art. Was he sincere in his message? Yes. But everything else, he was a professional performer. He had this mesmerizing gaze. Every time Time magazine would come out, this man used the media like crazy. He really understood mastering the perception of the customer. Right? Last week we said you need to master the perception of yourself, right? You are a leader, you are an authority. Speaking is the number one way to exude authority. And so join a speakers club. Some of them are free online. You can join a Toastmasters International for, I think it's a couple $100 per month for a year. And you get an archive of 50 years, starting conversations, doing presentations, doing pitches, professional speaking. Basically anything you want to learn about speaking, you can join one of these clubs. The most important thing is confidence is something you're going to build one day at a time. And being in a supportive environment where you're all there to improve yourselves, you're going to take out those the stutters, those kind of weird mannerisms. But again, we are animals. As soon as your posture improves and you project your voice, Natasha was saying this the other day, when you're in a networking environment, the people you remember are the people who speak like leaders. And so again, this is something you can do. It's something you can build on. And the number one tip I have for you to be better on video today is flip it on and talk about what you are the most passionate about. What makes you happy? Because you're going to find out your spine is straighter, you're speaking with more volume, you have more natural inflection, right? Oh, when you're talking about my dog did the cutest thing yesterday and I just trained him, right? People can always tell what your favorite thing is. So I always say, make a video of that and see that you're actually already an animated, interesting person. It's just maybe you haven't tapped into it in a way that you can appreciate it when you watch a video. So even if you have to talk about, your kid or your pet or, what you just bought at the store, well, talk about that first on one video. And then if you're going to talk about your business, it's okay. Just make the next video about that. But it's about energy, right? People do not care about your degrees or anything like that. But if you do not share the kind of energy that inspires them to listen, we do have a war of attention right now. And I want you to win the war of attention and get on video because video is king. I was reading a Forbes article yesterday and it was spot on. The highest grossing marketing right now, can anyone guess? Who here thinks it's paid advertising? Right? Who here thinks it's you know, a, a Google ad or a Facebook ad? It's customer driven content. And we've had this conversation with some people, but it's when you elicit such a strong response that someone wants to make a video back. And it's to the point where TikTok videos made by customers, it makes people so much more money than traditional marketing that all the largest corporations are now turning to their fan base to make all of their ads. Great place to be. This is a war on attention, and you can win it by being comfortable on video. And in this ad, they said, hey, if you cannot pay someone to be the face of your company on video every day, you're not, you have to do it yourself. Right? Why? Because people want the energy. They want to know who you are. They want to interact with a real person. Trust is at an all-time low for organizations, for institutions. And so you showing up at the same time, even once a week on video, is going to do more for your brand than any recognition because you're going to be your own channel. And they want what you have. You're going to give them wisdom. You're going to give them energy. You're going to give them confidence. And you're going to be contagious, right? If you learn how to speak and get comfortable. And here's the reality. Your audience struggles enough with their own insecurities. They shouldn't have to wade through yours on camera to get to the message that you need to share with them today. So that's the responsibility. You want to become comfortable and confident enough that you can get right to the point and tell them, I know this is what you need. I know these are the mistakes you've made. I know you're frustrated, but today we're going to transform you with this one piece of information, and it's going to make them want to come back and get more, right? Oprah Winfrey, here's another example of how does a broadcaster become the world's most recognized and trusted entrepreneur, right? Why is Jerry Springer not Oprah Winfrey? Why is anyone else in that generation not her? Right? She had a bigger vision. She says, I am going to use television for good. She called it intentional television. Every day, her audience tuned in, they watched because they needed one piece of transformation. And she said, I'm going to give my audience one piece of transformation every single day. And she says, I'm going to impact the lives of millions, with my presence through media. And you can do it too. And the great news today, it's easier than ever before, right? You have more access to media on one day on your phone than anyone did 30 years ago. Now, Oprah had to go out and create her own company, right? Her own production company. You don't have to do that, right? Today, the good news is when you show up with your message, and we're going to talk about the best way to present your company with kind of a one sheet. And I don't know, can we see the visuals? Can you guys see the visuals that was it posted for? Can we see them? Okay. I don't know if we can see them. Anyways, you guys got an email with visuals, and one of it is the brand power pyramid. It is the step-by-step visual of what it takes to go from being a startup to thank you. The top 1% of brands. This is the 10-year growth pattern that took them from startup to industry leaders. And so I just wanted you to see that how, can your brand look and how can you present it? And you can step up and say, I'm the number one in the market. I am the industry leader when you have these things in place. So we talked about you want to make a commitment and actually keep it. Your brand is a promise and you have to keep it. Then there's social media. That's called social proof PR over on the left side, that when you master the presentation of who you are and what you do, the power increases. And what happens at the top? Why do you build brand power? How do you condense it? Again, it's like a piece of gold. How do you refine it? How do you make your brand so valuable that you're so far ahead of competitors that they can never catch up? So these are exact steps. And because you joined the second training and you're here toward the end, we have a workbook and you get that for free, and we'll have a link in it. Some of you already have the workbook, but you do get that for free because it's going to walk you through the 3-step process that we're going through. But I wanted you guys to have this visual of when you concentrate brand power, you build trust. And the more trust you build, the more profit you make. So, right? Apple, I want to tell you something. They made a promise to 5% of consumers and they kept it. And that 5% of loyal consumers made them 90% of the profit in their industry consistently. If you can imagine this, they went from nearly bankrupt in 1996 to becoming the world's top brand. Steve Jobs positioned that in 10 years following the brand power pyramid. So I want you to see that this is not about startup capital. This is not about having 1 million followers. This is not about how popular people think your idea is at first. This is about you stepping into that position as a leader and using proven steps that have worked for people, literally people with $2,000 in their parents' garage. Every top brand that I have studied has followed this exact power pyramid, and it gives them all the same authority, credibility, and profitability with lifelong customers who never consider going anywhere else. So we talked about that your reputation is gold, that you use it to your greatest advantage, because in business, reputation is all you have. Supreme confidence. Whatever level of confidence you can give and share and embody, right? We're not talking about you don't pretend to be someone else. You embody the values you already know are true. And you do it in a way that's captivating so that you win the war of attention with the customers you want to work with. Now we're going to talk about a practical step, which is winning an industry award in as little as 1 week, right? In order to lead your market, you need to have the intention to do that. If you never set the intention, it never happens. So when you wake up in the morning, I want you to set your intention. I am the market leader, and today I'm going to do what moves the needle of success to get there. And one of the best ways to do this is to have a one sheet that is also a visual. If you can share that, thank you. And one of the subtopics today is stop explaining yourself. We were talking about how when you start to over explain what you do, people start to tune you out because it's not what the most successful people do. You want to, in one picture, show the recognition that you have gained. Thank you so much. So this is an example of a one sheet. And right, this was for this event. It walks you through, here's who I am. I'm sharing a 12-week program, but then it shows I've got my who's who. It says a global award winning business coach, and I'm in over 200 publications. I'm in Forbes, Inc. And you see how that's visually represented? I land 90% of my top podcasts, 1% podcasts, speaking engagements. I'm talking to amazing leaders like Kay, who she lends me her audience of 100,000 people because she trusts me. And I don't do this by explaining what I do. Have you guys ever seen like your Facebook message and someone sends you something like this? And you're like, the scroll is so long, it needs a soundtrack. Right? And this person could be telling them they're just like me, but you don't want to hear all that. So having your brand presented in this media rich environment where bam, someone can see, hey, this is what other people are saying about you. And then look at the information I'm sharing. The information is in 3 bullet points, because if someone is going to work with me, they're going to fall in love with those bullet points, or else it doesn't matter what else I say. If they don't love like the fast and dirty version of what they're going to get out of this, I'm not having a conversation with them because they're not interested. So this is how to instantly gain the complete attention of someone and say, yeah, let's do this. Let's book a call. Let's do the talk, right? So stop explaining yourself. Put this together and we're going to talk about how to do this. Number one way to present your brand with authority through the media is to win an industry award. And you have a workbook. You'll have a link. Some of you already have the workbook. I sent it out. But today only, you're going to see the exact steps. I have contacts inside public relation companies or PR companies where they do the work for you. So there are 2 ways you can do this. You can research the kind of award you want to get. You can ask your top 10 customers where they spend time online, who's the number one authority they listen to when they make decisions on whether it's your financial planning or whatever it is inside your business. You can ask them and you can spend the time. There's the link. Thank you so much. Or you can go to the link and get that workbook and get my advice. If you want this first step, winning an industry award, if you are eligible, I put the contact information of 2 of the top PR people I work with, and they can help you win an award in as little as 1 week. They will see your eligibility. They will submit your form. You can choose the language of what they submit. But if you want something fast, again, this whole training is about how to position your brand as number one in your market in as little as 12 weeks. So if you want wham bam, you want to pay a little bit of money and get your first recognition here. Now, if you are part of a parent company that has a lot of industry awards, make sure you have permission, but put those on there. Make sure that you're saying, hey, I am presenting my information as a top consultant with an industry leading company. And then you get to back it up. Then I said, right, you make a commitment. Hey, I guarantee you, I'm going to help you get X. We're going to get you this result. We're going to give you this level of treatment and service. And it makes all the difference because then, right, not only do you have an award, but you need to back it up. Why is it that people trust you more than any of your competitors? Tell them why it is and then deliver it. Like you need to become a fiend, okay? Everyone in business is obsessed with something. The only difference is top 1% brands choose the most important thing to obsess about, which is creating instant trust with people. So when I say make that guarantee to someone, don't overpromise on, like a claim. Don't make outrageous claims that are going to get you in trouble. But I mean, if you promise to deliver on something, if it's 2 a.m. in the morning and that's the difference between you delivering it, be obsessed about that. Make a small promise and over deliver, because doing that with a group of 10 people or 20 people, understanding their desire, connecting with them, having that direct contact and making sure, hey, was this what I promised you was going to happen? Are you happy? And then go beyond, be customer obsessed, but attract people in a way that the way they like, create a one sheet. And so, does this all make sense? Do you want to win an industry award? If you're eligible, yes, do it. Now, is everyone eligible for it? No. Maybe you have a parent company and you can ask for those visual assets to put that together. Now, not everyone can win an award, maybe not even quickly, but then you can do something like podcasting. So we're coming toward the end of the formal training here. So if you do your workbook and you're not eligible for an industry award or the time is not right, then I can help you get onto a top 5% podcast. I have hundreds of contacts. They're top podcast hosts. You will not pay anything for this. I will make this connection because if you have a high-end service, like I know you guys do, if your service is over $1,000 per year, you need to be in front of affluent clients who are willing to listen to you for half an hour. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a publication that's reading your bio like Kay did for me today. It doesn't matter if it's, a magazine or a podcast, but you want someone else to brag about you. And what I do with my podcasts is I put my best ones on my website. And then people, if they want to spend a half hour with me on a podcast, those are the people I get on sales calls for. I get on sales calls with them. The number one thing I ask, and we'll go into this next time, but what was it about my content that you liked? Like, we're not getting on a sales call unless you have something really nice to say about me, because I want to add to your enthusiasm on the road to the sale. You cannot convince someone to be interested in what you do. So you want to get it snap, bang, boom. So here's what we're going to do. You made it to the end of this training. Thank you so much. You just got the free workbook. So now we're going to talk about what you get for being here again. First of all, you RSVP'd, you showed up, and then if you write a comment in the post we're making in Women in Alignment, you get multiple entries for a free sales. It's a free call called, it's the Plan of Action call. It is worth $250. That's where we sit down and we talk about one specific goal in your brand or business, and we just create a roadmap and we make it happen. Introductions, again, get you featured. And now you've got your workbook. So I am building my testimonial bank for my 12-week program. And because you're part of Women in Alignment and you're so fabulous that you show up to multiple trainings, if you finish that workbook and send it to me, then we can talk about what's in it, right? You're going to follow instructions that are going to make it really easy. But if you're not 100% satisfied with that, I'm here to make you happy. You know what stinks about most coaches? They actually don't give you a lot. I promise you, when you follow follow Tony Robbins, does he ever connect you with his most affluent friends? Does he connect you with his media people? No, but we worship the guy. What's up with that? So I get to say, you know what I hate about my industry is people don't work for you. They don't do enough for you. You pay that PR agency $5,000. They put your one article in one magazine. Maybe no one will ever read it. And they go there. You paid someone else to move one chess piece on the board, and they didn't even explain to you the game you are playing. Let's fix that right now. If you do that workbook and you make it a priority to get this one sheet together for your amazing service and brand, then you let me know. If you are willing to give me a testimonial and make a video, I am fully transparent here. Your content, your journey of working with your PR and everything, it goes further than anything I can tell people who want to be my clients. So if you do that workbook and you say, okay, Coach Noel, I put my coaching email in there, coachnoelpowers@gmail.com, and you say, you know what, let's work something up. I would like an introduction to be on a podcast. I just really want to beef up my kind of resume here on my one sheet. We will do that 15-minute call for free. Again, because I want you to get your feet wet. I want you to be excited. I want you to have that amazing brand asset that will really take you to the next level. So that is it for today. Now, if you need to leave, I totally get it. The formal training was half an hour, but you let me know, do you have any questions? Now we can get in the chat and let me know, did that all make sense? Did everyone get the email with our visual assets? Awesome. Did you get the link to the workbook? If not, you can